assalamu alaikum, and a very good evening to all our viewers who have tuned into Question Time on Islam Live from the Ahlebait studios with your host Naveed Hussain. And like always, the great pleasure of having our Islamic scholar Syed Muhammad Musawi with us again this evening to answer any questions, any concerns, anything you would like to ask our Islamic scholar. He will try his utmost best indeed to answer the questions. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate our Islamic scholar on this beautiful, most sacred month of Rajab, and all our viewers out there. Sayyidina assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. We start this program with thanking Allah who granted us a great bounty of being alive again in another month of Rajab. Month of Rajab is one of the greatest months in the whole year of Islam. Month of Rajab is the month of forgiveness, month of mercy, month of nearness to Allah, month which has got many important occasions of the birth anniversaries of Ahlebait alayhim assalam, and also martyrdom. Month of Rajab has got the title of Shahrullah, the month of Allah, as the month of Sha'ban is the month of the Prophet, and month of Ramadan is the month of the Muslim Ummah. Month of Rajab is full of recommended deeds, a'mal, like repeating istighfar, like reciting Qul Huwallahu Ahad, like repeating saying La ilaha illallah, like fasting, and like giving charity, and like supplicating to Allah for our matters in dunya and hereafter. There is lot of narrations in our authentic books about the importance of the month of Rajab, and the sincere believers should not ignore the importance of the month of Rajab and should not look down to the importance of it, and they should not miss the great bounties and great chances in the month of Rajab. The night of the 3rd of Rajab, or the day of the 3rd of Rajab, is the martyrdom of Imam Ali al-Hadi alayhi salam, the 10th Imam from the 12 Imams of Islam, the 12 Imams who are the successors after the Prophet of Islam. Imam Ali al-Hadi, who is known as Ali al-Naqvi, was martyred by Al-Mu'taz, one of the kings of Abbasid regime. He was killed by poison on the 3rd of Rajab in year 154, means Imam al-Hadi al-Naqvi was killed by Al-Mu'taz al-Abbasi, the Abbasid king, just 1 year before the birth of Imam al-Mahdi, who was born in year 255. So Imam Ali al-Hadi alayhi salam was martyred in Samarra in Iraq, where his house is still existing. 2 Imams lived in Samarra forcibly because the tyrant rulers of Abbasid regime brought them forcibly from Medina to Iraq, and they were in the city of Samarra under the eyes of the spies of those rulers. Imam Ali al-Hadi alayhi salam's mother was from Morocco. Her name was Sumana or Samana al-Maghribiya. She was from Morocco. Look at the wisdom of Allah, who wanted to prove to the human beings that there are no barriers between ethnic groups. All people belong to one race. Ahlul Bayt are the top of the Muslim society in every aspect, knowledge, piousness, every aspect. They are the top in every virtue. But Ahlul Bayt, if you look at their married or their family life, you will find many imams born from non-Arab mothers. Many imams. You know, Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, his mother was non-Arab. Imam Musa ibn Ja'far alayhi salam, his mother was non-Arab. Imam Ali al-Rida alayhi salam, same. Imam Muhammad al-Jawad alayhi salam, same. So you will find many of the infallible imams who are the best of the ummah after the Prophet. If you just exclude Amir al-Mu'mineen, his mother was Fatima bint Asad. Fatima alayhi salam, her mother was Khadija. Imam Hassan, Imam Hussain, their mother was Fatima alayhi salam. Muhammad al-Baqir alayhi salam and Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam, their mothers were from the family of Ahlul Bayt. You will find that their mothers were non-Arabs. That is a practical evidence that Islam does not put barriers between people. That also will prove to us that what by many Muslims as cultural behavior, that they don't marry their daughters but only from the same group or same family or same whatever background, that is not the practice of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Infallible imams, they got married with African ladies. Nubiya. Nubiya means from the African part where the skin is dark. Okay, Maghribiya, from Morocco. Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam's mother is from Europe, from Rome. This is a practical evidence that Islam establishes the equality among all the ethnic backgrounds. The man, the woman can never be judged by the ethnic origin, but by their behavior, their piousness, their faith. Otherwise, our infallible imams could have married from best of the Bani Hashim families, but not all of them married with Sadat. To show us that the value is to the faith, the value to the faith and the practice. Imam Ali al-Naqi alayhi salam lived most of his life under some type of house arrest in Samarra. He was under severe control from the tyrant rulers. He witnessed many kings. After the martyrdom of his father, Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam, Taqi, Imam Ali al-Naqi al-Hadi witnessed different rulers, including Al-Mutawakkil, who was well-known enemy of Ahlul Bayt. Al-Mutawakkil is the criminal who destroyed alayhi salam, and he wanted to dig out the shrine of the Imam to stop people from visitation of Imam in Karbala. That Mutawakkil was killed by his own son, Al-Muntasir, with the help of the army. Then Al-Muntasir, then others came till Al-Mu'taz, who killed Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam with poison. Imam al-Hadi alayhi salam, with all the severe situation that he was living in, he guided to the real Islam. And he guided not only the Shia Muslims, but all Muslims. If you read in the history how Imam Ali al-Hadi al-Naqi guided lot of people who were not knowing Islam and not following Ahlul Bayt. One example is the Al-Asfahani, one Sunni man from Isfahan. Isfahan that time was one of the hubs of Sunni Islam. You know, in that time, in the 3rd century after Hijrah, most of the Iranian cities, most, not all, most, were following sects which are away from Ahlul Bayt. In Isfahan, which was well known against Ahlul Bayt that time, by the name of Abdul Rahman, was taken by number of leaders of the city. They wanted him to come with them to speak on their behalf in front of the king, Al-Mutawakkil. So they brought him from Isfahan to Samarra. He said that I had nothing in Isfahan, no job, no income, and I have a wife, children at all. So I came with them because they paid me, and I waited with them near the palace of Mutawakkil, waiting for permission to enter and meet the king, who is called Caliph. He said that while we were waiting, we noticed unusual situation near the palace in Samarra. What happened? What is going on? They say that Mutawakkil ordered to kill the Imam of the Shia, Rafidi. Who is the Imam of the Shia? because he was non-Shia. They said, Ali al-Hadi are waiting because Mutawakkil sent his own people to bring the Imam, and Imam will be killed by Mutawakkil. I said that I was just waiting like people waiting. Then I saw a man who is enlightened with light of Iman, riding over his horse, coming towards the palace. People said that this is the man who will be killed. This is Ali al-Hadi. I saw him from far. I saw that this man is a man of light, Noor. How Mutawakkil wants to kill such pious man, holy man. So in my heart, I wished and I prayed in my heart without moving even my lips. In my heart, oh Allah, save him from the evil of Mutawakkil. Without telling anybody any word, he said, Imam al-Hadi looked at me and came near me and smiled and told me, your dua has been accepted.
Subhanallah.
I did not say anything to anyone. He knew. Allah informed him. Your dua will be accepted. And he told me, you will go back to your place and Allah will grant you children and wealth. The same man, Abdul Rahman, he said, whatever the Imam said happened. When we finished our job in Samarra and went back to Isfahan, Allah granted me children, 10 children, and lot of wealth. And he said, this is from the blessings of Imam Ali al-Hadi. Imagine, I tell you, a non-Shia Muslim having in his heart sympathy and love, and he prayed to Allah to save Imam al-Hadi. The result, what blessings he got. And then he turned and became a follower of Ahlebait till the end of his life. And when others from his community objected on him, he said, I myself saw Imam Ali al-Hadi is not a usual man, he is man of Allah. So we say that if we sincerely pray for our Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, we will get blessings from Allah according to our sincere feelings praying for the Imam of our time. We, in this program, send our salams to Imam Ali al-Hadi alayhi salam and to his son Imam al-Hassan al-Askari alayhi salam and his grandson Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, and pray to Allah to keep us with the sincere servants of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam and with the sincere supporters and soldiers of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam.
Thank you very much indeed, Syed, for that lovely introduction of tonight's show. Syed, now going into our questions for this evening, can you please explain in Islam?
Not able to hear.
Yes, Syed, are you able to hear us?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, Syed.
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Now, yes, yeah.
Okay, Sayyidina, question regarding in Islam, what is the historical importance of Jerusalem? And why did the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his holy progeny, initially pray in the direction of Jerusalem?
In
Did
Quran,
he?
we read about Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa. Allah says, سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله. So that is in Quran. And when the Salah started, the Qibla was towards Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa in Jerusalem. That's why it is called Ula al-Qiblatayn, the first of two Qiblas. In Islam, we have two Qibla. The first Qibla was towards Jerusalem. Then, when the enemies of Islam started hinting against the Prophet, because that was also the same direction of their own prayers. So they say that why Muslims are praying towards our own direction of prayers? Why don't they have their own direction of prayers? Allah in Quran mentioned, قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قَبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his holy progeny, was annoyed from the propaganda of the enemies of Islam because of the direction of the prayers. So Allah told him, we see how you are looking at the sky. We will then grant you a qibla, a direction for prayers, which will make you happy. فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. From now, you face the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca. وَحَيْثُمَا كُنْتُمْ فَوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ شَطْرَهُ. And wherever you are, wherever, then face the direction of the Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, which is the Kaaba. This is when the Qibla was diverted from Jerusalem to Mecca, and that happened during Salat. The Prophet was in Masjid Bani Najjar, a masjid in Medina. The Prophet was praying, and within the Salah, while praying the Salah, the order came from Allah to face Masjid al-Haram. The Prophet turned 180 degrees, because Jerusalem was on the north side and Mecca was on the south. So the Prophet turned from Jerusalem to Mecca, and the masjid is still existing, called Masjid Al-Qiblatayn in Medina, the masjid of two qiblas. That is part of the history in early Islam. I would like to remind our respected viewers that last week we mentioned a Quranic verse, إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى. Allah orders with justice and fairness and giving the progeny, the relatives. In the authentic hadiths from Ahlebait, we have that the real meaning of justice is to follow the Prophet of Islam, and the real meaning of fairness to follow after the Prophet Ali ibn Abi Talib, Amir al-Mu'mineen. إيتاء ذي القربى means to give the right of Ahlul Bayt. The narration from Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, إيتاء أهل القربى وَأَيْتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى means giving the rights of Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam. Yes, please.
Thank you so much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, why is it said that the month of Rajab is the month of God? And why fasting in Rajab can save us from hellfire? Why are these bounties exceeded, especially in this month?
Sorry, why the month of Rajab is the month of God?
Yeah, so why is it said that the month of Rajab is the month of God, and why is fasting in the month of Rajab can save us from hellfire? Why are there so many bounties, especially in this month? So many rewards in this month.
Month of Rajab is a great month. Allah knows which month is great. You know, month of Rajab is one of the 4 months which are called Al-Hurum or Shahr Al-Haram. You know, Shahr Al-Haram have got special rules in Islam. In the 12 months, only 4 months are sacred months. Rajab, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram. With all the greatness of the month of Ramadan, it is not from the 4 months of Haram. Month of Rajab, according to the authentic hadith, is the month of Allah. Month of Sha'ban is the month of the Prophet of Islam. Month of Ramadan is the month of the Ummah, the Muslim Ummah. And fasting in the month of Rajab has got great reward, because fasting in the month of Rajab is recommended. No doubt fasting in the month of Ramadan is obligatory. Every Muslim must fast in the month of Ramadan. But those who fast in the month of Rajab and month of Sha'ban, they do it for the love of Allah. They tolerate hunger and thirst and tiredness and whatever they suffer in fasting to gain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why you have got in the hadith that a person who fasts 1 day in Rajab will be granted with the paradise, Jannat. 2 days, more reward. 3 days, more reward. In fact, there are hadiths to fast as many days as you can from month of Rajab, and there are people who are fasting the whole month of Rajab, and they get great reward. So whatever you can fast in the month of Rajab, you will gain great reward for it.
Thank you so much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, is it necessary to have a relationship even after the relative doesn't invite you to the wedding?
If your relative did not invite you for wedding,
to a wedding, is it still necessary to have a relation? Good.
Of course, you have to keep good relation, not only if they don't invite you, even if they hit you on your head. You see, if the relative is so aggressive and he harms you and he does wrong against you and insults you, that will never be a reason to make you cut your ties with your relatives. In Quran, the order is وَتُقَطِّعُوا أَرْحَامَكُمْ أُولَٰئِكَ الَّذِينَ لَعَنَهُمُ اللَّهُ. Those who cut ties with their relatives are cursed by Allah. In the hadith, صِلْ مَنْ قَطَعَكَ. Keep good relationship with your relatives, even those who boycott you, who harm you, who hurt you, who disturb you. In the hadith also, خير الصدقة درهم على رحم كاشح. Best of charity is a charity to a relative who is against you, who hates you, who insults you. But best of your charity is charity to such relative who is in need, but he is not treating you in a proper way. So any behavior from your relative which is not accepted by you does not give you a permission to cut ties with them at all.
Thank you so much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, can the nafila or mustahab fast be opened at any time during the day or not?
We have got types of fasting. One type of fasting which is called specific obligatory, like month of Ramadan. It is obligatory and in specific month. We cannot fast the month of Ramadan in any month but only Ramadan. Not like some people in some places who claim that fasting 1 month in the year can be performed in the winter, and they practically fast in the winter. That is wrong, because Allah says Shahru Ramadan in Quran. Allah mentioned the month of Ramadan. Allah didn't say fast in every year 1 month that you come here now, especially in America. They fast. Some people, I mean, a group of people, not all Muslims there, group of people, their leader tells them to fast in the month of December because it is winter and short days and it's easier for them. That is not accepted in Islam. In Islam, we have to obey Allah, not to obey anyone against the orders of Allah. So month of Ramadan must be, fast should be in the month of Ramadan specifically. So in the month of Ramadan, there is no way that we can break our fast. This is number one. Number two, qada of month of Ramadan. If you keep qada, as you know, anyone who did not fast in the month of Ramadan, even 1 day, he must keep qaza of that day. In the qada of the month of Ramadan, you are allowed to break the qada if you have enough time to perform the qada later, but not after midday. If zawal means the time of salat al-dhuhr, namaz zuhr, zawal ka time huwa, then no one is allowed to break the qaza fast. And if someone breaks the qaza fast after it is zawal time, means zuhr time, midday, it is haram, and there is kafara of feeding 10 poor mu'min. This is the wajib fast. Sunnat fast recommended, like now in the month of Rajab, which is really very high recommended to fast. You fast in the month of Rajab if you don't have qaza fast on you. Keep in mind, anyone who has got qaza fast on him or her is not allowed to fast recommended fast. If you have qaza fast and you want to fast in the month of Rajab, then you fast the qaza one first. you will get the reward of the qada, and you will get the reward of Rajab as well. But you cannot fast recommended if you have on your responsibility qada fast. If you don't have qada fast at all, you are allowed to fast recommended fast. And recommended fast, you are allowed to break it anytime. Anytime. If anyone offers you food or drink, whether before Dhuhr or after Dhuhr or even 5 minutes before Maghrib, you are being offered to eat or drink by a mu'min, it is recommended for you to accept the invitation or the offer of the mu'min and eat or drink, and don't tell him that you are fasting. You will get the reward of fasting, and above that you will get the reward of accepting the invitation of a believer, a mu'min. So that is in the case of recommended fast. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for the clarification. So that those who own a liquor store or work there, is it permissible to eat in their home?
A person who works in a liquor store, is it permissible for us to eat in their home? The answer is this. If this person has no income but only from liquor store, no other income, all his money is from the liquor store, in this case it is haram to eat in his house because his money is fully haram money. If he has another income, say for example he works nighttime in liquor store and morning in another job, which is permissible, so his income has got lawful and unlawful. If his income is lawful and unlawful, you can eat in his house with the intention that you are using his lawful income. But if his income is totally unlawful, you cannot eat from his house. A person whose income is unlawful, whether from liquor, from stealing, from cheating, from usury, from pork, from any unlawful source of income, when their income is 100% unlawful, then we are not allowed to eat from unlawful income at all.
Thank you, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, moving on. Sayyidina, please explain the procedure of istikhara and what is its status according to the Sharia?
Istikhara is a way of consultation. Istikhara, when someone is unclear whether a specific idea or act or project is in his mind, but he or she is not sure whether this will be successful or not, in his favor or not. First of all, before going to istikhara, we have to go for istishara, consultation. Consultation. We don't go to istikhara blindly. Istikhara is not in every matter. Like some people, in every day they do istikhara for 10 times. To go, to come, to enter this room, to eat this food, in every matter. No. Allah gave the human beings aql to be used. Allah did not give us the aql to be kept dormant or paralyzed or unused. No. First, use your senses and consult those who have got experience and trusted people. After consultation, if the matter is still unclear for you, then go for istikhara. Istikhara guides us, especially those who really and sincerely believe that istikhara will guide them to the best. Some people don't have enough faith in istikhara. They don't believe in it in their heart. No. Those who believe in it in their hearts, they go for istikhara, submitting to the guidance of Allah. Istikhara can say good, means yes, go ahead. Istikhara can say no, don't go ahead. If it says yes, is it obligatory to act upon it? The answer is no. It is not obligatory to act upon any istikhara. It is good. If the istikhara says good, then act upon it, good for you. But if you did not act upon it, is it haram on you? No, not haram. If istikhara comes, no, bad, don't do it. Is it haram for you to do it? No, not haram. But it will be harmful. Not haram. If istikhara came, no, and you did not care for istikhara and you did it, did you commit a sinful act? No. But you did something which will not be in your favor. It will be harmful. What type of harm? Allah knows. Sometimes you do istikhara and it comes, no, don't do it. And you think that you want to do it. You want to do it for any reason. And you went against the istikhara which came no, and you did it. No sinful act in that. But the result in the long run will not be in your favor. We have got here a narration from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. One of the followers, one of the students, came to the Imam and asked him that I saw istikhara with you to go for a travel for business. Istikhara came bad. But for some reason I went. I traveled. Despite the istikhara which said no, I went. And I came back from a travel with lot of profit. So I'm confused. How istikhara came bad and I came back with lot of profit, lot of money from that travel? Imam asked him that during that travel, did you miss any salah? He said, yes, I did miss. In one night, I was very tired and I slept and I missed morning prayer. Morning salah. Imam told him, the loss that you made by missing one morning prayer is thousands of times much more than the money that you made. So you are not a winner, you are a loser. From this trouble you did not win, you did not gain, you lost. So in short, going against the istikhara is not haram, but it can be harmful. Yes, please.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Question, Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum salam wa
Sayyidina,
rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
what is the history and philosophy of male circumcision, and is it a requirement for a man to be circumcised in order to go Hajj?
You know, circumcision is obligatory in Islam on every male. We don't have circumcision for female, as some people claim. What is being practiced in some countries, in some African countries or other countries, in Islam, we don't have any circumcision for females at all. Circumcision is only for males. Any male who is born Muslim, or he became Muslim, even if he became Muslim very late, say 70 years, 80 years, when he's a Muslim now, circumcision becomes obligatory on him. Now, about going for Hajj. Hajj, especially Tawaf, you know, Hajj has got steps. Tawaf around the Kaaba is invalid for any male who is uncircumcised. Any male who is uncircumcised, his Tawaf around the Kaaba is invalid. The Muslim who wants to go for Hajj or not must be circumcised. Muslim male. Muslim male means we don't say that only for Hajj you need to be circumcised. No. To be a Muslim, when you are a Muslim, circumcision is not a condition in Islam. Circumcision is not a condition. Means we don't say that any Muslim who is not circumcised is non-Muslim. No, he is a Muslim. Because the person becomes a Muslim when he believes in Allah, means no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. He is a Muslim. The circumcision is an Islamic rule. Many Muslims don't practice all the Islamic rules, but they remain Muslims. The Muslim male is responsible to get himself circumcised. That has nothing to do with Hajj. Means it is not that he should be circumcised because he wants to go for Hajj. No. Hajj is a different rule. In Hajj, Tawaf is invalid if the male is uncircumcised. Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the clarification. Sayyidina, Sayyidina, the son to whom the father has said in his will, don't touch my funeral until I die, don't touch my soil, don't even touch anything of mine when I die in the shroud. Does this son have the right to put bricks on his father's grave when there are other sons there too?
It looks like this son has annoyed his father a lot, right? And father made him maybe up, ungrateful, and father does not want this son to take part in the funeral. Is such son allowed to put bricks? The answer is yes, he is allowed. He is allowed. Anyway, such son should seek forgiveness day and night, and should seek pardon from his father. You know, when the father or the mother, when anyone dies, they will still hear us.
Allah.
We don't believe that the person, when he dies, he will lose all his senses. No. We have got authentic evidence that dead persons can hear us. The Prophet of Islam, he spoke to the Kafirs who were killed in the Battle of Badr, and he told them, did you find what Allah promised? Did you find it true or no? Some Muslims told him, are you talking to dead people? How can they hear you? The Prophet replied them, you people are not more than them hearing me. You who are with me now, not more able than them from hearing me. So they are hearing me as you are hearing me. And also we have got authentic hadith that when you go to the graveyard, Qabristan, or any grave, talk to them. We say, Assalamu alaikum ya ahla la ilaha illallah. Peace upon you, O people of La ilaha illallah. كيف وجدتم قول لا إله إلا الله? How did you find saying La ilaha illallah? Which means that that person is able to hear and listen to us. So a person who annoyed his parents should go to their grave and request them to forgive him, do good deeds and gift for them. If they died unhappy with him, you can turn them happy if you give them good gifts like charity, like Quran recitation, like majlis, like feeding poor, like ziyarat, like hajj, like umrah. So such son who disobeyed his parents and made them angry, he should not lose hope. He can do good deeds and gift it to their his parents. He might get them happy with him. Yes, please.
Thank you, Sayyidina. Sayyidina,
We have got hadith.
woman...
Let me add here. We have got hadith here that some people are grateful to their parents when they are alive, but after parents die, they turn to not grateful. And some people who were not grateful during the life of their parents, when they die, they do good deeds and give to them, and they turn from ungrateful to grateful. So always our deceased parents should get from us as many as we can, as much as we can from the good deeds. We have got hadith, Irhamu mawtakum bis-sadaqah. Have a mercy on your deceased people by paying sadaqah on their behalf.
Thank you, Sayyidina, indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, if a woman is not working and is a housewife and is dependent on her husband, is Hajj wajib on her?
Is Hajj wajib on a woman who has no work and she is totally dependent on her husband? The answer is, if she has no savings at all, because many of the ladies who are depending on their husbands, they keep something, they save something. If she has no savings, which are enough for going for Hajj. And if the husband is not ready to offer them to take them for Hajj, Hajj is not wajib on them. Hajj becomes wajib when they are able to go, either by saving enough amount of money for Hajj or by invitation, if husband or anyone else invites them to go for Hajj. In that case, Hajj becomes wajib on them.
Thank you so much indeed, Sayyid. So that during Hajj and Umrah, men and women perform their prayers standing equal. But in normal circumstances, women cannot stand equal to men and offer their prayers. What is the reason for this?
In Hajj and Umrah, and also in many places, it is not practical to ask all women to go back. Not practical. That's why during Hajj and Umrah and many places like in Arafah, like in Muzdalifah, like in Ziyarat of Karbala or any other Ziyarat, when it is practically not easy to ask all females to go back, then it is permissible for women to pray like others. Of course, wearing full hijab. That is because it is the practical way in big gatherings.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, will smoking break ablution or not? And what is the Sharia status regarding cigarettes?
Is smoking breaks what?
Can ablution, I think ablution, your wudu, can
wudu.
the Sharia
Does
status?
smoking break wudu, ablution, wudu? The answer, no. Smoking does not break ablution, wudu. Yes, smoking breaks fasting. If you are fasting, one of things which breaks fasting is smoking. But smoking does not break ablution, wuzu. But smoking is not a good habit at all. And in some cases, it can be forbidden. It is haram to harm others. Means if you want to smoke, when people are around you, and the smoke can harm them, being either ill, sick, children, elderly, the smoke can harm someone. It will be haram on you to harm someone because of your smoking. If smoking damages your health, then according to many of the maraji of taqleed, smoking becomes also haram. So smoking is not a good habit at all. But if you have to smoke because of you are addicted to smoking, be sure that you should not smoke near anyone. You should not harm any human being by your smoking.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina, for the clarification. Sayyidina, reciting the Holy Quran in Arabic, Urdu, or any other language, does it give equal reward, or is it much more in reciting it in Arabic?
Reciting Quran in Arabic has got its own importance because that is the way that Allah has revealed Quran on the Prophet of Islam. Peace and blessing be upon him and his holy progeny. But for those who don't understand the meanings, they can recite in their own language. It means the translation of the meanings of Quran in their own language. They will also get reward. They will take lessons from the meanings of Quran. No doubt that it is more important than reciting Arabic without understanding to understand, to implement the Quranic orders. Quran is not only to be recited. Main thing is Quran to be obeyed, to be followed. The Prophet said, I am leaving behind to all the Ummah two most important things that you will never go astray as far as you keep following both of them, the book of Allah and my progeny, Ahlebait. So following Quran and following Ahlebait, it is not only by listening or reciting without following Quran, and also Ahlebait, not by only taking their name or reciting without following them. It is following Quran and following Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Sayyidina, if in the month of Ramadan, if we go for Umrah or pilgrimage, will fast be done or will we have to do Qadha?
If you go during the month of Ramadan, go to Mecca or Medina, and your intention is to stay in Medina for, say, 5 days. In Mecca for, say, 7 days or 5 days or more or less. As far as you don't intend to stay in any place for 10 days or more, you cannot fast. No fasting during traveling. ليس من بر صيام في سفر at all. If you want to stay there in Mecca and Medina for 2 weeks, 1 week in Mecca, 1 week in Medina, that is more than 10 days, still you are not allowed to fast. Why? Because you need to intend to stay in one place 10 days or more. So if you want to stay in Medina itself 10 days, then in Medina you can fast. You must fast. You must fast in the month of Ramadan. And you stay 4 days in Mecca, you cannot fast because you are traveler. So it depends on the intention of how many days you want to stay in every place. 10 days or more, then you must fast in the month of Ramadan. Less than 10 days, you cannot fast in the month of Ramadan.
Thank you very much, Sayyidina.
Yes,
Sayyidina,
please.
some people often eat fish from hotels. So what is the order or the ruling of halal and haram fish are found cooked in the same oil at the same hotel?
The fish sold in the same hotel?
No, fish is cooked.
Fish
is cooked. It is cooked in the same oil.
Okay.
If it's haram.
Okay. You see, fish is halal if it has got scales on it. And the second condition, that fish should not die before catching it. Dead fish is haram. But fish which was alive in the water, then caught, it is halal if it has got scales on it. And we don't have condition that fish must be caught by a Muslim. That is to say that it is halal. Scales on it, and it was caught alive in the water. Now, cooking the fish using utensils or trays or whatever, that utensil must be tahir, pak, not najis. If you are sure that these utensils were used in cooking pork or non-halal meat, then that utensil becomes najis. But if you are not sure, maybe they have a special utensil for cooking the fish. If you are not sure, then you can consider the fish as tahir. Yes,
Thank
please.
you very much. Syed, no, we've come to the end of the show. Unfortunately, if you can finish off in the last minute, please, with some wise words.
My dear and respected brothers, sisters, sons, and daughters, utilize this great chance of the month of Rajab. Repeat Astaghfirullah 70 times every day. Astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu at-tawbah, or Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. Repeat La ilaha illallah as many times as you can. Repeat Surah Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Also, don't forget to fast as much as you can. The gate of paradise is open for everyone who does good in the month of Rajab. It will be called in the day of judgment, أين الرجبيون? Where are the people who used to do more good during the month of Rajab? May Allah guide us, enable us, make us able to do more good in this holy month of Rajab. And may Allah please our Imam Al-Mahdi alayhi salam with us and keep us with his sincere servants, sincere followers, and grant us the happiness of martyrdom and the love of Ahlebait alayhim assalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjil farajahum.
Thank you very much. With those beautiful words from our Islamic Scholar, dear viewers, we've come to the end of this evening's show. Keep our Islamic Scholar